Hi everyone, this is video number 4. It's Benita again. I fell in love with this website when I found it, and I just found it this morning when I was looking for something else. I hope that one of you or maybe two of you get excited about it as well. It is called the JSTOR Understanding Series, and it's just unique. It's sort of like a library, but different. As you can see here, I am logged in under my email account for Fort Hays, and this is giving me free access to a lot of information that is so different than anything I've seen before. So I'm just going to start here, and we're going to look at browse first of all. Well, first, let me just go down here and show you. My purpose for this would be for my own scholarship, as well as I think my students will use it. So we go down and we've got the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech. We have Kate Chopin's short stories, and then a number of other literary characters, and we've got a lot of Shakespeare in here as well. A lot of British literature, as well as 35 pieces of American literature. They are expanding all the time. I've done some digging into this website. Now, if we go into browse, we can go by subject, by title, or by publisher. So I'm going to go by title and just take a little look at what they've got. They have music. They have 14th century English mystics, that newsletter, 20 and 21st century review of history, 291, that's 2019. So kind of obscure pieces of information. But what they have that we don't normally see is a lot of artwork and images as well. So that's part of what's unique. You can save work to what is called your own workspace, and I thought that was really interesting. You can log into this space through your own library. Now, if we go in by subject, this is when I felt like JSTOR got much more interesting. Because up until I got to this point, I was thinking, okay, this is new and they don't have a lot to work with yet. But now when we start looking at African American studies, African studies, American Indian studies, American studies, and as you see, we're getting out of just arts and we're going into business, economies, development studies, humanities, law. We have a lot more to look at. So I'm going to click on philosophy here. And now we have 133 journals that are housed in JSTOR. So this gives us some research capabilities. So browsing by subject is really good. If we want to go back here and look at the subjects again, if you wanted to look at a subject that might not be as readily accessible, say you wanted to look at folklore, or you wanted to focus on something specific with your students, I think this would be a good place to take your students because it's not as overwhelming. And I know that a lot of you are teaching younger students and you want to kind of light a fire of curiosity and excitement for them. So for that reason, I felt like this was a really neat place. This is another page, kind of another home page for JSTOR, and you can do a search in all content, but you can also do a search with images. And the images that they have here, it's just like going to a museum. And this one says take an interdisciplinary approach to public health. And so some of the images, Children of the Sea, the case for addressing gender and power, bring your work to life with images. Let's click on that one and just look at it a little bit. Lots and lots of different classifications here. So just depending upon what you teach, fashion, costume, and jewelry, I think that would be a fun one, maybe to spend, a little bit of time with your kids on. I just thought that this was a fascinating new kind of museum webpage. So I wanted to share it with you. I selected it just because it's unique and it's different from what I usually run into. So my purpose for showing it to you was it's different and it's not what I usually see. My intended audience is going to be my high school seniors. I think they are going to enjoy it. I think they will also benefit from it. The standards that I think it really touches upon the standards of learning, and we are so used to being just deluged with too much information that we no longer look at small things. Everything's got to be gigantic. And so as I looked at this, I thought that this was just a beautiful example of being able to be an empowered learner and articulate and set personal learning goals, developing strategies, leveraging technology. 1.1a, I thought this was a beautiful one for 1.1a, but I thought it was also really nice for knowledge constructor again, because we've got effective research strategies here to locate specific information and resources for their intellectual and creative pursuits, because this is very specific information. So those were the two standards that I chose. And once again, my purpose was just for us to have something that was unique and different to look at than what we normally see. I hope you enjoyed it. This is my number 4 video, and I will be back with number 5. It is a big surprise.